We've got something interesting today. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting. Came to us from my good friend Tuffy Marginez, and he didn't tell me what it is. I do have a call in to him, so hopefully he'll give me a jingle back and let me know just what this is. I have a suspicion it might be fogwood found on ground because it was in a box with another piece of fogwood, so it could be that fogwood, F-O-G, found on ground. But anyway, I want to turn it today, and you want to watch, I hope. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy, let's take a little closer look at it. It's about 7.5 inches long, it's about 3.5 inches high, and it's about 4 inches wide after I cut off a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. I think I'm going to leave this one because it's kind of an integral part of the piece. I'm trying to work out how I'm going to hold it. I want to hold it with a woodworm screw, but if I cut a hole big enough for clearance of my chuck, I'm going to run right off the side. So Tuffy not only provides wood, he provides tools, and he provided this quite some time ago, and I've used it I think once, maybe a couple of times. What this does, this part here goes in my chuck, and so I only have this protruding out. Well, actually more of that will protrude out, but this is what matters, is right here, from about this beveled end out here. So that'll take up a lot less space than my chuck jaws would. And this fits through the hole in my headstock. This goes, actually it goes this way. This will be on the outside of the headstock. This will be inside my chuck, and this connects it all together. So what I'm going to do is take the piece of wood to the drill press, shim it up some way or another. It's going to take a little messing around to do. Drill a hole for that woodworm screw I just showed you. Get it mounted up on the lathe and get to turning. I know it does look a little, yeah, it's going to be a problem. I don't know quite how I'm going to shim it up and hold it on the drill press, but I'll figure it out. I know you'd probably be interested in how I did this, so I'm showing you the after. I've already done it, of course. It just took so much monkeying around to get this clamp, and then it's in the vise down here, and then moving it and taking it all apart and moving it again. It's been 20 minutes. I've been getting this set up to drill the hole where I believe is the center. I sure hope it is. And then I just drilled it out. So now it's large enough for Tuffy's invention. Oh, one more thing. Every time I show this drill press, everybody in the world wants to know, where did I get this thing? This drill press is more than 50 years old, and this clamp is more than 50 years old. Since we just had a drill press video, what's missing from this drill press that one had? The rack on the side for table adjustment. This doesn't have that. They didn't used to have those back in the olden days. And yeah, I bought this new. So this kind of clamp can't fit on those columns because of that rack that's there for the table adjustment. So they no longer make this. Now if you have an old drill press and you want one of these things and you don't have a rack on the side, once in a while these show up on eBay. Hardly ever. Other than that, they don't make them anymore. Sorry. It's called a drill press cam lock. Cam lock, because this is a cam. This is a cam operated clamp. And you just loosen it off. Oh, I got two clamps on here. You just loosen it off and swing it around, put it where you want it. Yes, it's the handiest thing in the world, and if this drill press went bad, I'd spend $500 fixing it just in order to keep this. I love this thing. I love it. It's an extension of my own arm. I don't know what I'd do without it. All right, let's see if we can get this on there. This is what I've got. I probably should have cut those further away. I don't know. Maybe this one will still be remaining, about half of it. That one maybe a little bit. I don't know. There's not a lot of room there. You can see how this side falls right off. Let's see if we can get it mounted up without incident. I hope I drilled my hole deep enough. Tuffy's screw is 1 inch long, and mine are 3/4 of an inch. I guess I could have measured it, but I didn't. I also wasn't sure what kind of wood this is, so I drilled my hole a 1/64 smaller than normal, and it looks like I didn't need to. I didn't know if the wood was soft, but it's hard. It's a hard wood. Well, that just cleared, didn't it? So we're in business. Now I'm not going to do much turning on the bottom, and I guess no turning on the ends. mostly because of this piece here that I said was an integral piece. I'd kind of like to turn away enough of this to put a recess in here and a flat area for it to set, and then have this just about touch the same surface that this will sit on. So just gauging it, it's about 1/4 of an inch. I can't remove much here, and that's why I wasn't going with a tenon, and that's why I wanted to use the worm screw, or else I could have just put it between centers. But I like this. I like this feature. I don't know what kind of speed we can get. Let's find out. Well, about 750 is pretty well in balance, so that's a good thing. I'm kind of surprised because this end seems to be so much larger, but 750 is good. Well, I got interrupted, so it's the next day. We're going to be turning at 750 RPM, 1/2 inch ball gouge, mask and face shield on. Trying to get a big enough spot for a recess. Let's see if I've done that. I'm just going to bring my live center up here so I can mark it. Not quite big enough yet. I'm going to go ahead and start making the recess just so I know where I am. Well, I have a flat area here and here for it to set on, and we might have to settle for that. I'm gonna go up a little bit higher. It gets wider here, and it gets a little bit wider here. I'm just trying to get a whole recess. Although I think it would work with what we have, but we'll see. Now I'm going to use my dovetail tool, put a dovetail on the outside edge of that. And that is good, and it touches all the way around. So that's all the turning I'm going to do on the bottom, and most likely on the outside as well. So what does that mean? Time for sanding. Well, we'll get to sanding in a second here. If I put a straight edge across here, I can't put it on both sides. I want to see if this is higher or lower than the base is. So if I just put it over here and swing it up, I'm hitting this by about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to have to do a little sanding on this to bring it down, because I'm going to be sanding this as well, which will take that up even higher, and this will stick down even lower. So I've got to sand off about 1/8 of an inch there. But that's no big deal. It'll be easy to accomplish. I'm going to start sanding with my Sandoflex. I'm going to sand all of the unturned parts, which is most of this. This is 120 grit, then I'll switch to 180 grit, and I'll stop there. That's as fine as I like to go on the natural parts of a piece. When I'm done with that, I'll switch to my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit and working up through 400, and I'll sand the turn parts. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. That's gonna take a little bit of doing, but I'll do a lot more of that. And then with the piece turning in reverse at about 400 RPM. So like that. I'll see you back here in a bit and we'll put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. Well, that took a bit longer than I thought it might. Lots of little ins and outs to hand sand, but it's done now and I'm very happy with it. And I did talk to Tuffy and he does not know what kind of wood it is. What he knows is that it's hedge wood and it came from where he worked. A hedge or the bush or the tree or the it died. Oh, this is sanding sealer, shellac based sanding sealer. I'm going to put on 2 coats of this and then I'm going to put on 2 coats of shellac over it. And most of this, of course, is going to have to be brushed. And that bark and all these ins and outs that I spent so much time on are just going to shine. And I don't mean shiny, although it's shiny right now. I mean show off when I say shine. It'll have a nice shine to it, it just won't be super shiny. We want it to look like how the tree or bush looked on its very best day. See you in a bit. I've turned the piece around and have the chuck jaws expanded into the recess. I've been looking the piece over, deciding what I want to do here. It's kind of complicated. I think I want to take out at least half of this, which will take out half of that, or maybe even all of it. But I'd kind of like to leave this or take a little bit of it. So I don't know. So I'm going to start. I'm just going to start. See what happens. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like as we go. There's not a lot of room on this side here. Maybe you can see it just, no, you can't see. It just drops right off. So I can't come out here too terribly far. We're going to be turning at 700 RPM. I'm going to be using a 5/8 inch bowl gouge simply because it's heavier and this is only going to be hitting on 1 piece for a while and then 2 pieces and maybe 3 pieces as we get down there further. Mask and face shield on. See what that looks like. I can come a little bit further and still miss this. Ooh, that's stressful, because it's just bouncing so much. Maybe I can get in here now, closer, huh? Oh, wish that hadn't happened. It's just a lot of torque out here at this edge on that little bitty recess. It got damaged a little bit. I'm just going to put it back and do it again. Can't quit now. Okay, all sharp, all remounted. We don't have to get through much. It'll be okay once we get past this. Just hitting one or two spots. I hope. That's the plan. Okay, that's as far as we better push it. It should be smooth sailing now. I'm gonna take a break. I can hardly breathe. Oh boy. Okay, here we go again. Okay. I'm not sure I can go deeper. I'm not sure I can even measure this. Oh yeah, I can go deeper. Okay, I think that's it. That is it. That's it. That's it. Look at here where there's a crack. This is a pith back here on this flat part, and there's cracks coming out of that pith right here and right here. So there's not much joining it now. Still plenty strong, and I know it looks like not that good. I'm just gonna have to sand out my tool marks. I don't think I could use a scraper on there. Too much contact. I'll just sand it out. Time for sanding. I don't think I dare spin this thing up and try and sand it, so I'm going to sand it like this. This is the way I typically spot sand to get rid of my tool marks, but I think I'm going to have to do the whole thing this way. It just doesn't seem smart to spin it up. So I'll be doing this starting at 80 grit, which is what I'm working with now, up through 400 grit. I'm going to go ahead and put the finish on. I'm going to fix the bottom, and I'll bring you back when it's time to take a good look at this thing. See you in a bit. Well, I said I was going to fix the bottom along with finishing the inside, but it's got a nick out of it here, little chip out of it, and I can't really fix that. So I'm going to remove the recess. This is something I think everyone should do, but I'm not I'm not everyone's boss, and I've gotten lazy in my old age, and I don't remove them most of the time anyway anymore. I used to. I believe you should remove all evidence of how a piece was held. So what I've done here is I've got a block of wood mounted up in my chuck. I'm putting a non-slip cloth over that. I've installed a soft touch on my live center, and I'm just going to try and find the middle of this, which is not easy. So I'm just going to start up and do it, and if I need to adjust it, I'll make another adjustment. So I'm going to be using a 3/8 inch hole gouge. Turn the speed up here, see what looks good. About 500 RPM, and just start removing the recess. Now just by looking at it, I should be able to tell if I'm hitting evenly all the way around. I think this side here is wider across right here than it is over here. So what does that mean? That means it's closer to the tool rest. So I need to loosen the pressure and adjust it over just a touch like that. See how that works? See if that's evening out. It is. Now what about the other way? Well, I can't really tell there. This is quite thin now, and that's gone because it's always been gone. So I think we're probably pretty good. No, I think we've done it. Looks okay to me. So now, how am I going to sand it? Well, I'm going to remove my tool rest so I don't get my fingers caught. I keep a stack of used 2-inch discs just for purposes like this, and I label them what grit they are. So we're going to start at about 120, and I'm going to turn the speed down a little bit here. About 300 RPM, and I'm just going to hold it up there and sand it. So I'll be doing that through 400. I'll get some finish on there, get it signed and all that, and I'll be back. Be sure you stick around at the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Well, here it is. One, I don't know, bowl in the books. It's a bowl. Piece finished up very nicely. I know it's quite different. Very different. You see anything when you look at it this way? About that angle right there? What do you see? Lady's shoe. It's a lady's shoe. It's the heel and the back straps are missing here, but they go there. The toe. Yeah, lady's shoe bowl. Sure looks like one to me. This was a challenge, which makes it fun for me. I do like a good challenge. I don't know what kind of wood it is. If you do, put it in the comments. We'll come up with a consensus, because I signed it, but I did not put the kind of wood on there. I'll save it for right down here. But for now, we just don't know. We just don't know. And I have another piece of this. Much larger, much more of a root ball. Well, I hope you liked the video. I had a lot of fun making it for you. Be sure you leave a comment and let me know if you did. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Tuffy Marginez, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, how cool are you? You're totally cool. If you're not a subscriber and would like to be totally cool, just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.